So I have me a single dynamic driver IEM here that claims to be the best single dynamic driver IEM on the planet. A lot of IEMs come out and they try and claim the same thing. I think this IEM actually might win the crown. This is the Dita Ventura. It costs about $4,500, $4,700. I'm not exactly sure what the price is, but yeah, it is very, very good. And I would say that it might be the second best flagship that I've heard since the Subtonic Storm. The funny story about this IEM is that usually when I go to shows and I to a booth and I just ask them to give me whatever, I just want the model name. I don't care about the price. I don't care about the driver configuration. I just want the model name and I just listen to it. Someone gave me an IEM from Dita and I listened to it and I thought, just kind of like it's very mid. I wouldn't pay more than $200 for this, right? Turns out what they actually gave me was the Dita Prelude, which is your like $100 entry-level IEM. This is the Dita Ventura. This is their actual flagship. A lot of people were raving about this, so I said, okay, here in Dallas, I gotta try it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, can it be really that good after what I heard with that $100 one? It turns out, yes, it can be really that good. This IEM is fantastic. The way I describe the sound is that the bass notes is very authoritative. It's more than slammy, it's blammy. It hits hard, it hits fast, but there's a lot of authority, a lot of weight behind the notes where it's not just that hard, sharp, defined transits, but it hits and it lingers and it decays with a really nice roundedness, but it doesn't linger too long. It's, I would say, a little bit more bit bassy than sub bassy, but there's a very nice balance there. And when the bass notes land, there's a lot of authority in the weight of the notes that really give you that feeling of satisfaction and oomph and impact. I would actually say that some people might prefer the bass on these IEMs than the Subtonic Storm, given that sort of more dynamic driver style feeling instead of the Storm where it's a bit more harder with the transients and really sharply defined note edges to it, right? The mid-range is pretty good. I'd say it's a little bit forward. It's not quite as neutral, quite as relaxed as the Subtonic Storm. So if you do want that forwardness, it's there. In the treble, it is a bit of a brighter IEM. There is definitely some sparkle to it, a bit of air. It's what I call a soft touch in the treble where the notes, the hats and cymbals, it's not overly sharp or overly crisp. There is a nice bit of softness there to really balance everything out. The soundstage and imaging is very good on this. The soundstage does feel very wide. The imaging feels very, very nuanced along. There is a little bit of depth, not to the extent of the Storm, but there is a good amount of depth to this IEM. The resolution is very, very good. Exceptional resolution. Once again, not to the level of Storm, but it's approaching there, right? And that's very impressive for what they're doing with a single dynamic driver IEM. So overall, it's a really, really tastefully tuned IEM with a little bit of color to it. However, there is one thing I'll complain about, and that is this cable. This cable is awful. I don't know what they're doing. Do something better, please. Complaints aside, great IEM. I would say I think I could see some people actually preferring this over the Subtonic Storm if they want something with a dynamic driver in it. If they want something maybe a little bit more warmer to the Subtonic Storm, a little less strictly analytical, but the resolution, the soundstage, the imaging on this is still exceptional.